Hello everybody, welcome back to KSP, Kerbal Space Program. Last time we sent up, Sputnik 3B, after we had a couple of mishaps I believe, and I believe our mission today is to go to the moon and back with an unmanned probe. Let's double check. It will be in here. Yeah, our package selected. Moon 1. Let's see, I read this up before. Basically, they're saying I don't have enough practice. I need to go orbit around the moon and come back and land back on Kerbal. Right. So we will select this mission. How much does this pay? 80,000. Yep, 80,000. Confirm. And we'll just put this back down here. Now, I have went ahead and made a ship in advance to make this easier. Let's see. Let's go. Oops. Debris, apparently. Oh, okay, it says. Right, back. So let's look at the ship I've designed in advance for this mission. Boop. It does, let's see. This is it right here. I've called it the Stone Skipper 1 because it's sounded like a good name to me. Let's see. So we got asparagus staging like this. The actual probe bit. Oops. Let's just pull this off here. Is right here. Pretty simple. This is what's going to be making the orbit around the moon and hopefully returning safely back to the surface of Kerbal. Solar panels and we'll have one battery. It's supposed to have 2. Not that it hugely matters. I don't think we'll need the 2, but I want them anyway, just to keep it even. We're still going without any SAS or RCS even for this mission. I have everything with parachutes, so it should all be safe. I'm going to double check my staging here real quick just to make sure everything is looking fantastic. That's all looking good. Let's see, then we stage this, right? Parachutes, stage this, parachutes, deploy that, right, and okay, right, okay, this looks good. I'm going to save again and click on the launch button. The cost of this is coming up to about 36,720, which is pretty expensive. But as long as nothing goes horribly wrong and we recover most of this, we'll get some of our money back. Let's go ahead and launch. Now, I've done a test run of this. Technically, in my test run, I did not make it back to Kerbal. And I think I can make it. I just have to. I don't think I was efficient whenever I first launched. I wasn't paying too close attention to what I was doing. Let's just move this down. Or let's put it on this so we can look at our objectives and such, and we'll just move this back down here because we don't really need it right now. Let's see, open up our resource. Now, I've been trying to be as efficient as possible with these missions so that I have essentially as much fuel as I need and don't go overboard. And I think this just about does it. Let's check our map. Yes, ourselves into position here and open this up. Right. So let's go ahead and start this launch. Launching in 3. Oh, throttle up. SAS on, even though there is no SAS. 2. Launch. Like I said, there is no RCS or SAS on this at all, so I am controlling this manually the whole way through, which should be fun. We drop these first rockets off pretty soon. They're just used to get us essentially off the launch pad. So we will stage those now, and they have parachutes, so they should be fine. Let's go ahead and do some minor adjustments to make sure we stay straight. I want to stay as close to the 90 as I can because the moon is on the 90 degree, but once we get up into the atmosphere we can fix that if we're off. Go ahead and start our gravity turn a little bit here without going overboard if we can avoid it. It's wanting to pull itself a little harder than I'd like, but that should even out once we stage these second set of rockets here. we will do right about now. Good. We'll take this moment to look at our map and see what our height is. Right, we're already getting out of the atmosphere at this point, so we can pull our ship a little closer to the horizon to push ourselves out. Once this gets out to maybe 150 or so, I'm going to cut the engines and engine and let us drift for a minute. Right, and holding about. The reason I'm letting it get so high is just because we do have to go to the moon, which is pretty far out there. Oops, I wanted to go back. Right, we're high enough now that the atmosphere isn't going to have too much effect. So we want to use as much of this fuel as we can in gaining altitude out. Actually, quite honestly, I'm going to continue to push out right now because I'd like to ditch this engine and the tank and all, so that it comes back to the atmosphere. I am curious as to why I didn't get messages about my deployed stages being recovered. We did, we used up the money, so we are in the right mode and all. I'm not sure why I didn't get messages saying that those were successfully recovered, which is hopefully not a problem. Because we're pretty far away from them now. Let's see, let's throttle up. We want to get more height right here, and we'll use our smaller engine to get our orbit fixed. I think that will be the most efficient way to go about it, as far as, because we want to get rid of this engine. I could be wrong. I'm not a professional launcher to the moon guy. Some people call them astronauts, although our astronauts haven't been to the moon in a while. You know what I mean? So let's get this out a little bit more. We'll get it to maybe evenish about with where this is. Alright, that's good there. Oops, I pressed the wrong button there. Let's check our... Okay, we have a little bit of fuel. We'll use this fuel to kind of finish this orbit off. And our small engine should be able to, on our little unmanned probe, should be able to get us to the moon just fine. So we'll go ahead and speed up time a little bit here so we get a little closer to our apiopsis. Right. Actually, I'm going to wait before I check that. I'm just going to check our angle on the 90 degree. I know we're off a little bit, it looks like it anyway. But like I said, we can fix that a little bit later. Oh, and let's do this right about here. Let's see which way. Oh, it's the other way. Turns really slowly because, like I said, this doesn't have any RCS. We'll actually kick our engine on a little bit because this engine has gimbaling. So it'll help turn us around. Right. We want to be... pull it back a little bit. Right there's good. And on the SAS just to have it kind of maintain a little bit. Right. So we'll throw this up. Get it, about, that should be, yeah, that should be good there actually. And from there it should descend out of the, or through the atmosphere and take care of itself. So we'll press this staging button. What that's going to do is activate the parachute so it handles itself, although to be fair, I don't think it'll actually count. It'll also decouple the probe from this and stage these, which should also fall into the atmosphere because they're going to follow the same flight path essentially as this, because they're not going to be speeding up any more than they currently are. So we'll stage, and we'll throttle up a little bit just to get ourselves. So we'll keep throttling up because we got to get our orbit circularized. Wow. Or at least roundabouts. Doesn't have to be perfect, but it should be good right about there. That's fine. Right. So we'll set the moon as our target now. We're not actually too far off, which is good. Right. There we go. And Let's check our map. There's all that stuff, which should all deorbit itself sometime soon. And actually, before I forget, we will activate all of our little stuff. Oh, this one is not wasn't action keyed for some reason, and we'll also activate our antennae, which clip into our solar panels just ever so slightly, but don't mind that. Let's speed up time a little bit. We have to wait 31 minutes otherwise, which we are not going to do. So through the magic of time warp, we shall get there in a matter of moments. Now we've lost sight with all that what is now currently debris, and we will slow down our time warp right about... Oh god, we missed it. That's fine. It's not a very big burn, so it shouldn't matter that we missed our point a little bit, because we should still be perfectly peachy. Yep, 0 and 0. Fantabulous. Okay, so can we actually... Yeah, we can see the moon right now. We'll just add this maneuver somewhere over here. Oops. Somewhere over here. Thank you. Expand this out, and we will figure out where exactly it needs to be put in a moment once we get this pushed out a little bit. Right, here we go. Right, we have an encounter. It's pretty far away, which is fine. We just need to make some adjustments. We need to give it a little bit more thrust, it looks like. I think I want to come in, let's see. Which side do we actually want to come in on? I think I want to come in retro orbit, just for fun. Means we need to come in this way. It's taking a lot of delta V at this point. Okay, you know what? Screw it. We'll go... No, I want to get rid of it. Thank you. Let's just come in prograde with the rotation of the moon. Let's pull this out again. Whoa, a little fast. Technically getting an encounter, but not an efficient one by any means. That's a little better there. 5. Okay, this is getting farther away. Let's see, make some minor adjustments here. Right, okay, well, we're going to go with this. We'll make this work one way or another. Let's turn off our SAS, find our nude, which should be... Oh, we're on the wrong axis here. Right here. Bam. And we will time warp into position, which 7 minutes away, but we should get there in a matter of moments yet again. Thank you, time warp. A little bit more. A little more. Not exactly. It says 1 minute and 8 seconds. If it is 1 minute and 8 seconds, that's a lot. It might kill the mission, actually. Okay, good. It was wrong. I'm happy that it was wrong. So, throttle up all the way. Yeah, if it took 1 minute and 8 seconds, there was no way we were going to make it. Okay, our fuel's still doing alright. Just need a little bit... Ooh. Right. I turned it off as soon as we made an encounter, in fact. Let's see. We're going to be quite far away still. Let's see if we can't make this a little bit closer just by eyeballing it. Yep. Yep. Yes. A little more. 7, 6, 5, 4. Right. 3, 2, 1. Oh. Oh. That might be a little bit close. So let's get at least a... Oh, actually, we can't come in that close anyway. We need to be 10 kilometers out at the most. So, or the minimum. Right, so we'll need to push this out quite a bit. Well, not really. We'll just turn around real fast here. Because we don't have any RCS, we can't do it with anything but our engine. Hold it about there, please. It doesn't have to be too accurate. There we go, that's fine. Problem solved. Let's check our map, or out of our map. We're gonna actually, I don't know which direction we're gonna need to face once we get there to slow down and actually make orbit. So let's just time warp over and see. Still doing perfectly fine on fuel. We're about half our fuel left, and I think that's more than I had before when I did this mission previously. So I'm happy with that. Look at this pretty satellite. Or probe. It's not really a satellite. Actually, I don't know. I guess technically it's going to be a satellite for a short period of time, but in general, I'd just call it a probe. So we'll time warp over there. Now, this is actually, other than my test mission I did before to see if this could actually get into, get the proper distances with the amount of fuel I gave it. This is the first time I've been to the moon since the update and actually seen its new textures that it has. Looks quite nice, although it does look much harder to land on now. Right, we're ready to hit its influence. Bam! There we go. We're now in the influence of the moon. Had a little bit of lag there as it changed the physics just a little bit. Let's see. Holy cow! That, my friends, is the effects of, what's it called? Oh shoot, what's the name of it? I had it written down. Oh, it's, I actually have it written down right here, I think. No, I cannot remember what this is called. There's gravity braking. This is the one where you come into the influence of another body in space and use its momentum as it's moving forward. It's going this way and it's speeding us up. It's pulling us in because of gravity, and it's also whipping us around faster because the planet or the object is moving this way. So as we get here, it's also pulling us this way. So it's slingshotting us out of our orbit. I'm actually pretty curious as to how fast we go, but that is not our mission this time. We got to get about here and start to slow down. Maybe we'll see, I guess we'll get an idea of how fast we're going, because we're going to have to stop it at some point around here, like this. Bam. Should be good. Saying it's not going to take too much energy, but that's quite a slingshot effect it had there. Just, phew, right. Let's speed up time a little bit till we get into our, let's actually, before we do that, let's find our node. Let's find that node. It's right here. Bam. Right about there, give or take. Come in, speed up time a little bit more. A little bit more. A little more than that. Still have to wait like an hour and 20 minutes. A little more. There we go. Not sure exactly how long we need to hang out around here. Not sure that it says. It doesn't look like it. It just says get into an orbit and then come back. But we'll orbit around the planet keep calling it a planet. You know what I mean. The body a couple times, just so we can get all our research in of observing the surface before we need to make a land. I think our next mission is to send a probe up to land on the surface of this particular body in space. Let's see. Let's go ahead and speed up a little bit more till we get down to about a minute or so, give or take. And then we'll do our final adjustments on our node and check our map and so on. Right. And there we go. Right about there. So let's make those final adjustments. Try to be as accurate as physically possible as a human being. Because, you know, I like to try to be accurate with this kind of stuff. Right. There we go. Are we still targeted on the moon, now that I think about it? No? Whatever. It says it's going to be 2 seconds, and I don't know if that's correct or not. Actually, we're not going nearly as fast as expecting, but it is slingshotting us, as you can see. It will be throwing us out of the influence of Kerbal if we were to continue on this trajectory. Kerbal escape. 2 days, 1 hour, and 32 minutes. But we're not going to let that happen. We'll be slowing down in the next 15 seconds or so. Right. Do 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 do. 6, 5, 4. We'll start our burn here. Volume on her engine just went out for some reason. And actually, we're going to go a little lower. Even though it's not going to be nearly as efficient for us to get out of here. I just want to get a little lower and... Ooh, that was close. I almost screwed that up. I also went below 10 kilometers there. Right, hide finish goals. We have finished the official main part of the mission, getting into orbit around the moon. Now we just got to return back and land on Kerbal. This does have a parachute, so we should be able to do it. And we do, I believe, have enough fuel to make it. There goes Kerbal. And as you know, I did call this probe the Stone Skipper 1, and there's a reason. It's because it's like we're throwing... we're skipping off, well, not really skipping, but we're coming to this rock, skipping it, and then coming back and landing back on Kerbal, which is why I call it the Stone Skipper. It's a stone, we're skipping it. And I think of it something I call any probe that I send out from now on that does a similar mission to this, where it just orbits another body in the system and then comes back and lands on another of the original body it came from. Right, so we will continue to speed up time here. We'll orbit a couple times for science sake. Look at those rocks. And once we come around here in the light, you'll get to see this new texture and formation. There's a little bit of a ripping there. Sure, that's because I... Just ignore that. And there you go, it's gone. As you can see, it's very much holier than it was before. All kinds of craters and stuff you need to avoid now that weren't there before. Or if they were there, they weren't actually detailed in like this. So that's a thing. I think it looks great, especially whenever you look at it from farther back. I think once you get closer, it also looks better as well. I just said it looked better than this, farther and closer. So this must be the worst possible distance to view the surface from. What am I talking about? Okay, we'll continue to speed up unless we see anything really worth looking at here. Oh look, that spot's darker. I wonder why that is. Right, we will continue to move, and we'll finish this orbit up and head on home. Going at crazy Mach 5 speeds here, and we'll take this opportunity right about now to check and see where it is we want to make our maneuver here. Look at that. Doesn't it look great? It does look better from farther away, doesn't it? Looks amazing. Awesome. Right. Click on here, add maneuver. We want to do this, I think, in front of the planet to some extent, because that'll help slow us down more. Or, is that right? It'll be getting closer, so it'll, I don't know. I'm going to push it out, and we're going to work it around and see what looks better. Yeah, definitely. I was right in that sense. If you want a quick scientific explanation as to why that is, it's because once we pull out, the moon will still be pulling us and slowing us down more. So as we head out this way, like this, the moon will be going this way, but we'll still be pulled by the moon, so it's going to be slowing us down, pulling against us, and which will in turn drop us technically closer to our target. Now we want this to get as low as possible, and then we will burn here retrograde to slow us down and bring us back to the planet. It's highly unlikely that we will be landing this near the actual Space Center unless I leave us a little bit of wiggle room, which I might do depending on how our fuel looks. So let's see. This is 3, 1. That's closer. Okay, we'll do that about right there. I'm happy with that. So it looks like this is, we're actually going to go out and be pulled almost to the point where it's pulling us back, and then it gets too far away, and now we're influencing Kerbal instead, the moon, which looks interesting. Science. Alright, get on our node, time warp into position, which we cannot go any faster than this at this point in time, which is okay. I'm not too concerned about that. That says we're going to need about 226 meters a second in speed. I'm hoping we have enough for that. It says 7 seconds. That may or may not be true. I'm not sure. Let's get our time down a little bit more. That's good there. And get this repositioned ever so slightly. Right. Get our last look at the moon before we head off until next time. Let's see. The sun. Look at that. Fantastic. Beautiful space probe. Might be giving it a little bit more praise than it deserves. Right. Get ready for the burn. We'll actually start burning now. We'll keep it low energy right now. No need to go full throttle yet. Luckily, it's pretty easy to pull away from the moon. The moon, right? And a little bit more. Our fuel is looking fantastic. It's much better than when I did this as my test run. Just 30 more delta V here. And we may have, I think we went over slightly, but that's fine. We're moving away from the moon at this point. It's what we wanted, and we're getting pulled by it as we do. Let's see. This is looking good. I'm not exactly sure where we're going to get put on this line. We'll find out. I'll work it out one way or another. But we're actually going to watch us moving away from this point of view so you can see how we move out and how the moon is pulling us. So we'll time warp. Actually, yeah. See it pulling us along this line because we're not, that line isn't staying in the same spot. This is in relation to, this is like the orbit we're going to have once we get let go. So it looks like it's going to pull us all the way till maybe here? That's my guess, somewhere around here. So it's pulling us along this line. Like this line, it's getting pulled along this one. If that makes any sense at all. We'll time warp. And bam, we're on the new orbit now. Which is fine. I was hoping I'd be in front of this. I don't know what I was thinking. But we can work with this just fine. Let's get another look at the moon while we're out here. It's back there. Kind of dark at the moment because of shadows and whatnot. Oh, and we're still time warped. Right. Let's flip this bad boy over and get retrograde. There we go. Bam. Right, right there is pretty good. We don't have to be too accurate. Slow this thing down. Get this to about 70 kilometers or so. So we're skimming the top of the atmosphere, and from there I can decide last second, because it looks like we're going to have a little bit of fuel left. Yeah. So I can decide last second if I'm going to try and get us in, well, make some final plans for where I want to land us, because I do want to try to land on land. Get this down. Okay, that's fine there. It's a little slower than or a little lower, not slower than I'd like. Actually, that's probably fine. It'll aero brake us so that it'll pull this down regardless. So I'll work with that. It's fine. One way or another, we're going to get this thing landed safely, even if we lose a few parts along the way. Alright, let's time warp and head this thing back home. Because I'm sure it's collected lots of data for our Kerbal scientists to investigate. I was going to say explore. I guess you could explore data. Is that a possibility? This thing has been up for only 15 hours. If only they could do space missions like this, they'd be sending them up every day, wouldn't they? There's actually the Space Center right there. We're in front of it at the moment. And we're going to come through the atmosphere. Now, I don't know if I want to make an orbit around the planet. I might do, because I think with this altitude, we may just bring this down enough that we come back around and then come in. So we'll find out. Once we get a little bit closer, I'm going to pull on my solar panels so they don't get ripped off as we come bolting through the atmosphere at 3 kilometers a second. But because I'm sure... actually, now is the time to do that. Unfortunately, this one is not action keyed. Right, there's that. I cannot bring these back in even if I wanted to, so they will stay out and, I guess, transmit data reports about going through the atmosphere at 3 kilometers a second back home. Right. Hold here and see how this goes. We should be aerobraking at this point, although technically not by much. We need to be a little bit lower for it to really have a big effect, I think. So we may help it and burn a little bit to help slow this down, because it's not going to drop nearly as much as I would like it to. Let's do that. Because we need to be about 45 kilometers or so for it to really slow us down on Kerbal. Right. Because that's, I think, about where the atmosphere starts getting thicker. Alright, so we're coming in, aero braking very lightly. And now we're dropping our speed by burning retrograde to help it along. Let's actually burn a little bit more, because we have the fuel to do it. I want to save a little bit for whenever we start to come into land. I'd like to get this maybe... a little more... Not the most efficient grade of attack here, but it's fine. Oh, holy crap. Made a minor miscalculation in the fact of we don't have any more fuel. Congratulations me. So what we got to do now is land anywhere. That's what I get for paying zero attention to anything. We will burn at this point, at which we will use... We can, like, I'm not too worried about it. We will deorbit at this point. It's going to happen because we're coming through the atmosphere. We might just have to wait a while. Let's speed up. Oh, we are still in the atmosphere here. So we're going to speed up until we get back out, get to our, what's it called? Apiapsis. And use what little fractional amount of fuel we have left to drop this down a little bit more. And from there, we can aero brake home. Fortunately, I have no idea where we're going to land, but you just gotta work with what you have. And currently, that's all I got. So we can properly time warp now. We're running on battery power right now. I might give our solar panels, or pull out a solar panel just to fill it back up while we're in the sunlight. Not that it hugely matters. Right, so about at this point, we need to burn the last of what we got, which is really nothing. Let's see, this is currently... Okay, 3, 2, 1. Holy crap, did it the wrong way. That's what I get for not looking at my node well enough. Right. Well, we're on completely aero brake mode. It would have been fairly nice if I'd done that the correct direction, like not an idiot. But, right, we'll pull out a panel and charge this up. And time warp, like I've never time warped before. It's actually charging much slower than I was expecting. Right, let's get the other one out. Fill this thing up, and time warp home. retract, and retract, and time warp. Or I don't know if you can time warp whenever you're retracting solar panels, can you? Okay, it says I'm. Oh wait, no, I'm actually throttled up. All right, here we go. See how this goes. And we are coming into the atmosphere again in just a moment, and we'll see what this does to our. I'm going to time warp a couple times while we're in the atmosphere just to save time. This is dropping. This probably will only drop very minorly. Most of the drop is going to be happening on this side. But we are in fact dropping. And now that I've brought this down so much, it will save quite a bit of time. I might just do like a sped up version of this so you don't have to watch this, because it's going to take a little while. Right, so it's been a little while now, quite a while, and gotten the orbit down to about 38 kilometers, and I think this might be the one where we finally completely deorbit. I could be wrong, hoping. Speed up time a little bit. Let's get this thing facing the right way here. Been experiencing quicker drops in altitude on both sides at this point, so I'm hoping this is the one that does it. We're still going 2.5 kilometers a second, but hopefully we're finally getting deep enough into the atmosphere that it can no longer hold up. That is the goal, at least. As you can see, this is dropping pretty rapidly now, which is good news for us. Right, and this is dropping on this side as well, yes. Good. Oh yeah, this is going to be the one. Because as the lower we get, the denser the atmosphere becomes. Let's see. Let's stop time warping and just run this normal mode. Check our map. Yeah, there it goes. Where it's going to drop us, nobody knows. Actually, where are we? Hopefully... Oh, actually might land right on this continent right here. If we do, I'm okay with that. And shoot, there was the Space Center. Over there. Are we experiencing any re-entry effects? Not this time. If we do, it'll happen around 30 kilometers or so, I think. I really hope we don't fall in this ocean. I hope we continuously slow down to the point we land like somewhere here, like right on this coast. That would be nice. Be okay with that. Really wish I had a little bit of fuel left. But you know, I only have myself to blame, don't I? Turn on caps lock here. Oh my god, we're rotating. Did not mean for that to happen. So I forget. That's what I get for taking the one thing off. We're almost out of... I had to open up my solar panels a couple times. Okay, I don't have any control anymore, so we're going to start wildly tumbling. At this point, here we go. Hold this way. Not the best re-entry approach. I wanted the more aerodynamic looking side on the front, but that's okay. It looks like we might end up in the ocean at this point. Not ideal. I'd open my parachute if I thought it would save us, but we're not even deep enough in the atmosphere at this point for the parachute to actually deploy. So, right. As soon as it does, though, which is about here, I think, I'm going to deploy, but it's too late. We're in the ocean either way, and in the ocean at night at that. Maybe we'll get lucky and land on one random island that isn't listed. I don't see one. Whew, it's going to do damage to this probe. That's why I don't want to land in water. It's probably going to break the engine or other little bits on this little craft, but it cannot be helped. Actually, it could have been helped. It was my own fault that this happened in the first place, so technically it could be helped. There's Minmus up there. That one little speck in space we can see at this point. At this height, other than the moon and the sun, that's the only thing you can see in the sky is Minmus. Alright. But we're falling now directly into the ocean. It's going to break those solar panels at the very least, I think. We will deploy our parachute once we hit about, say, 5 kilometers up, give or take. Oops, I did not mean to press that. I meant to press the SAS. And, right, deploying parachute right about. Bam. So that should continue to slow us down. I guess below our 100 meters a second that I like. If I had an engine, I'd burn it once we get a little closer to prevent some damage. But as it currently stands, at this point I'm just hoping that it doesn't rip the parachute off whenever it drops to the required altitude, but I don't think it will. You know, we're well below the area in which it normally would do that. So I think we're good. Just got to wait at this point. Deep enough in the atmosphere now that we can actually see... Oh, phew. Saw everything kind of stretch for a second. There we go. Parachute is open, falling at 4.5 meters a second. Kind of a big parachute considering how small this thing is, but it had a lot of speed to lose. So we'll time warp a little bit until we get a little closer to the surface, and we'll see what the damage is once we hit. Hopefully not too much. Coming in, last few meters until we touch down into the squishy blue liquid we call an ocean, and hopefully very little is damaged, but I don't have high hopes. And oh, as a matter of fact, it looks like it didn't take any damage at all. Realistically, I'm pretty sure this would sink though. I guess I don't know. Here's a question. Whenever you use fuel in space, what does it replace it with? It doesn't just become a vacuum in it, does it? That would cause it to implode. That is a legitimate question I have. When you use fuel in space, is it replaced? It can't be replaced by air. There's no air. Interesting. This is not something I've ever thought about before. If anybody has the answer to this, by all means, let me know. I'm actually legitimately curious about that. Right, we've finished the mission, so let's finish mission. And bam, we just got quite a bit richer. Right. Let's go back to our space center. Let's see, space center. We will recover this flight and get a little bit more money back from that. Boop. Check our. We'll also check our debris menu and see if anything else is listed. Let's move this over here. Let's see, probe. This one that landed in the ocean. We will recover. Let's see what we get. Yes. 2,756. Yay! Right. Let's see. Sputnik B. Probes. Where? Debris here. Stone skipper. Okay, I can't recover this technically, because, well, I can't recover it because it's not on our planet, but it is technically space debris I've left, so therefore it stays in orbit. It will deorbit itself eventually, in theory, because it is coming below and getting into the atmosphere. So at some point it will decelerate to the point where it comes down like we did with our probe just now. So I'm not worried about it. It will eventually go away. It is in a decaying orbit, as they say. So let's recover this. These are, I'm pretty sure, yeah, these are, what are they called? The clamps that hold the space ship thing up until you launch to get those back. It's kind of weird that you don't get those back at full price. What is this? Oh, that's wait, no, what is that? What is this? What are these? There's a bunch of pieces just sitting here. It's not on this list anywhere. It's under debris, but it's not. Wait, what? There's more over here. What the heck? What is this stuff? I have no idea what this is, and I have no idea what that is. Right, okay. Now let's go back. And that is a mission complete, mission successful. This is a little bit longer than I was hoping that this recording would be. I figured it'd actually get done a little bit faster. Editing will make it a little shorter, I think. I've been recording for about 53 minutes, give or take. But let's real quickly see what our next mission is going to be. Like I said before, I'm pretty sure we're going to... Oh, we got another option. We can split. Oh, wait, no. We got moon. Oh, we have several options now. Interesting. So if you have... let's actually look what all these are, and if you guys have an opinion as to which one you'd want me to do, let me know. Let's see. We've decided to land on the moon with a small probe. Relax, just land it somehow. So just landing a probe on the moon, we don't have to do anything after that. Just landing it. Right. Then we got Mimus 1. We always see that little thing in our sky, but actually we have no clue what it is. Some think it's a huge marshmallow. Some think it's just toothpaste. We just need to know what kind of things... Wait. We need to know what those kind of things... Wow. We need to know those kinds of things if we want to explore space. Build a rocket that is able to crash into Mimus. Yes, crash. We can determine the density of Mimus once you crash there. This should be... Okay. So you just crash into Mimus. Simple enough. And Sputnik 4. Let's see. If you have been around the moon, but now it's time to explore Kerbal itself. We have been to the North Pole, but we didn't see it from space. Bring a probe with some instruments into a circular polar orbit and leave it there for at least 2 hours. Right. Okay, so asking for another satellite, but that goes into a polar orbit. Is there anything else? Right. So those are the ones that we have. If you have an opinion, let me know. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep going down in order and go down to the moon, and then to Mimus, and then to this, or this, depending. But like I said, if you have an opinion, we can land on the moon. We can crash into Mimus, which should be a real quick one, actually. Or relatively quick, anyway. So I might just do that one as an extra, real short one. And this one to get into a polar orbit around Kerbal. If you have an opinion, let me know. If not, I will decide for you. But this has been Kerbal Space Program. I've been Zagrom, and I hope you've enjoyed. See you next time.